الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم أحينا مسلمين وتوفنا مسلمين وألحقنا بالصالحين. O Allah, make us live as Muslims, make us die as Muslims, and make us in the company of those who are righteous. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين. Dear Muslims, the topic of this khutbah is the challenges facing our youth. And you'll find out that the challenges that our youth are facing are the same challenges that you and I are facing. Our capital in this life are the years of our life, that we need to invest in the obedience of Allah Almighty so we can make a profit that will benefit us in the day of judgment. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ told us in the hadith that every single person will be asked on the day of judgment about four things. Two of the four things have to do with the years of our life. عن عمره فيما أفناه, the years of his life, what did he do with it? وعن شبابه فيما أبلاه, and the years of his youth, what did he do with it? And the knowledge and our earnings. Two of the four questions that Allah Almighty will ask us about on the day of judgment have to do with the years of our life. Those in hellfire, they ask Allah Almighty in Surah Fatir, ربنا أخرجنا نعمل صالحا غير الذي كنا نعمل. Oh Allah, take us out of hellfire, bring us those years back so we can do righteous again. But the tape cannot be rewind. The years of our life cannot be brought back. أولم نعمركم ما يتذكر فيه من تذكر وجاءكم النذير. The answer to them is, haven't we given you a chance? Haven't we reminded you? This is our chance to think about the years of our life. How do we invest it? Specifically, the years of our youth, when we were active and energetic, when our mind is very fresh, our heart is very open. Every single young person, when he or she is convinced of something, he'll do everything for it. He'll even sacrifice his life. That's very, very dangerous. At the same time, it is also very good. We can be manipulated one way or another. Also, the years of the youth is full of distractions. Internal distractions and external distractions. Imam Ahmad says about the years of the youth, ما أشبه الشباب إلا شيئا كان في كمي فسقط. The years of the youth is like something in my sleeve and it fell down. Imam Ahmad is telling us about something very important. That those years of youth are very short. And they go by very, very fast. It is important for us to remind our youth with the challenges that they are facing. Quite often when in the middle of those years of activism and energy and motivation, we forget what we are in. Until someone comes and knocks the door and he says, watch out. You are living the most critical stage of your life. Not just in this life, but also in the year after. Because there will be a special question on those years. What are the challenges that faces the youth? There are internal challenges and external challenges. Among the internal challenges has to do with the aql, the mind. The mind is very active, moving, thinking. So many thoughts come to their minds. So many doubts come to their minds. Some from shaitan, some are not from shaitan. To be able to deal with this, the challenge of the mind, the youth and you and me should be very keen on seeking knowledge. And not just any knowledge. Beneficial knowledge. We should be very keen to remind our youth to have more than one source of knowledge. What happens quite often is that the youth confine their thinking to only one input. And that input comes from their peers at high school or in college. And they're not open for anything else. He's in my age, he speaks my language, we go to school together, we play games together, I will only listen to him. And this is where you and I can come in. We need to know what they're talking about. We need to know what they're discussing, not spying, what they're discussing. We need to know where the source of knowledge is coming from. A couple of real examples. Last Friday, a father and his son, the son is inquiring about tattoo. Is tattoo haram or halal? And the father could not convince his son that tattoo is not allowed in Islam. The son says, I did my research, I consulted my peers, and it says tattoo is allowed. He did his research, which he did. He consulted his peers, which he did. And he came to the conclusion that having a tattoo is okay. If we make fun of this person, this young man, we will never be able to make him change his mind. If his father tells him it is not allowed because I said so, very unlikely he will not be convinced. Because he did the research. This is where you and I can come in and put ourselves in his shoes. Where is this research? Who is behind this research? All those questions are totally irrelevant. We need to think about a different approach altogether to simplify it for this young man. And the approach could be as simple as, is this a sunnah of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ or not? Do we have any reported Sahabi that says, I watched the Messenger of Allah ﷺ and he had an earring? Or he had a tattoo? Or he had a ponytail? That's the approach that we need to take with our youth. Because if you talk about research, they'll beat you with the research. If you talk about different opinions, they'll give you a different opinion. We need to think differently on how to approach the challenges that the youth are having. Is this a sunnah of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ or not? I'm an engineer, I'm not giving fatwa, but I know for sure that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ did not have a tattoo, did not have an earring, did not have a ponytail, did not have a funny haircut. Leave it there. Now we're no longer talking about halal or haram, or Imam Abu Hanifa said so and so, and Imam Shafi'i said so and so. We're talking about the common sense. We're talking, going back to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second challenge that the youth are facing is the environment itself. Drinking, dancing, dating. And I'm less worried about this external environment than I am worried about the internal environment. The internal environment is what the youth see every single day and encounter every single day with their parents. That I am more worried about than the external environment. Because our parents, they only put themselves in the frame of mind of how they grew up. They only look at things from their perspective as grown up. They never take the time to say, I am going to put myself in his shoes. I'm going to rewind the tape and have this energy and thinking that I had when I was young. Only then we would realize what they go through. If we keep talking to them from, I'm an elder person, my father was a alim, I grew up in a Muslim country, I know more than you do, we will not go too far. For us to go through and to be able to connect with them, we need to swallow our pride. We need to put ourselves in their shoes. And only then we'll have this open dialogue with them. The second example I'll give you is from a famous university in Southern California with a very strong Muslim student association. So strong that they are now on a clash course with other religious organizations on campus. What happened there? They stopped inviting speakers from outside to give talk, because they know that those speakers will not reach them and will not speak the language. And as a result, the major discussion a few years ago on campus among the youth is who's going to Jannah and who's not going to Jannah. When that fitna is settled, or was settled, the major discussion nowadays is who's Shia and who's Sunni, and the difference between Shia and Sunni. And you try to talk to them, and they will not listen to you. The only way to go through them, to make them understand what benefit does it do anyone, to talk about Sunnah or Shia, what difference does it make to anyone, or whose authority is it to decide who's going to Jannah or not? Is for someone from the youth themselves to be able to open this discussion with them. And that someone from the youth will only be able to do that if his parents are open with him, and if his parents are involved in the discussion that goes on. It cannot be a direct contact between the scholars, the elders, and the MSA. They will not listen to it. It has to be an indirect, direct contact through our children, our youth. Only then they will listen to them, and they can make a difference. The challenges that our youth are going through today are huge. At the same time, the opportunities are also huge. Because as I said in the beginning, once they're convinced, they'll even sacrifice their life to defend what they're convinced with. Mus'ab ibn Umair radiallahu anhu, a very beautiful example for us of how he went through the challenges, the internal challenges from his mother. A young man, very rich, he wears the best clothing, the best perfume, and he embraces Islam. And his mother puts a pressure on him to revenge. She will not spend on him. And as a result, he lives as a poor person. Look at a young man who's resisting the pressure of his mother without boycotting the relationship with her. He is proving to her that he is not disobeying her, he is obeying Allah Almighty. By obeying Allah Almighty, he is being very kind and very nice to her. But when it comes to Allah Almighty, it is my decision. An example that we bring to our youth. That your parents may put a pressure on you to go a different way. They may not give you what you want. They may not comprehend what you're going through. Yet the respect has to be there. And for us as parents, as uncles, as educators, we need not to talk to our youth from the point of view that you are older, or to understand more, that we were born in a Muslim country. Because that will not go too far. You need to speak to them in their language. We need to put our frame of mind in their frame of mind. Only then we'll be able to communicate with them. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم ولكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي لا غيره ولا رب سواه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. We will be asked about the years of our life and we will be asked about the years of our youth. The challenges that our youth are going through today are real. And we need to be understanding of that. Yelling, pointing fingers, this is how it is, take it or leave it, will not work. We need to go down to the level, understand what they're going through, have a two-way dialogue, and swallow our pride in the opinions we're convinced with for so many years. And make it very simple for them. Is this Sunnah or not? Is this in the Quran or not? Who is your role model? The Messenger of Allah ﷺ for this? Let's ask another person for this opinion. Let's open a book together. Let's discuss. Have an open dialogue. Then the next time we go through a challenge, who will be the first to be consulted? Who will be the first to know, not the last to know? اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا بيننا ولا منا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. اللهم انصر الإسلام وعز المسلمين وأعلي بفضلك كلمة الحق والدين. اللهم هذا الدعاء ومنك الإجابة. اللهم هذا الجهد وعليك الكفلان ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله وأقم الصلاة.